Joining us now, Nicki Hutley from Deloitte Access Economics. Nicki, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us as always. So, a bit to get through here. Unemployment, it was 5.3%, then it was 5.2%, now it's back to 5.3%. What do you make of these changes? Are they as dramatic as is being made out?
Look, dramatic's probably overstating it, but the point is that the numbers are going in the wrong direction. You know, there was a time when they were drifting lower. We actually got below 5%, albeit very briefly, and that was the direction that the Reserve Bank wanted us to go in. And more importantly, you know, we've now come to think about what is the natural rate of unemployment as being closer to 4.5%, not 5%, as we used to think. So that is, to get actually any impact on wages, we need to get unemployment an awful lot lower than it currently is, and more importantly, to get the underemployment rate a lot lower than it currently is, which is closer to 9%. And if we can do that, then we might make some inroads on wages, make some inroads on retail, and get the economy moving in the direction that we want. But at the moment, we're not doing anything that's dramatically going to shift the dial on growth in domestic demand, and that is a problem for us. That is a big problem for us.
There could be a dramatic shift from the government too when it comes to that second round of tax cuts. Now, we spoke to Josh Frydenberg last week, and it's always quite telling where, they don't rule it in and they don't rule it out, and that's exactly what we saw from Josh Frydenberg. Now, he doesn't want to preempt this, and I think we had a signal from Matthias Coleman that wouldn't happen next month in the budget update, but it could very well happen in May. Are you reading those same signals, Nicki?
Yeah, definitely the tea leaves are all pointing in that direction. They've been very cautious about what they might announce for the mid-year. We know there'll probably be some aged care spending initiatives there in the mid-year, maybe a little bit on the regional infrastructure. But the big announcement the big move they're looking at is bringing forward of tax cuts. And you're absolutely right. The writing on the wall at the moment is that those won't be announced until the May budget. I sort of think that the government might be playing a little bit of chicken here with the economy. There is a risk that they leave this too late. It's good to see that consumer confidence picked up a little bit last week, but it's still at very low levels. And with that higher unemployment, I would be and wages staying very much in a stagnating pattern, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw the consumer confidence index fall back again next month. Not to mention, of course, all the impact of drought and bushfires that just the drought goes on, and now the bushfires, of course, causing immense damage. So I think there's something here that we need to do to really see that paradigm shift and get us out. Otherwise, we're just drifting slower and slower, and we're relying on infrastructure and exports, particularly mineral exports, to get the economy, keep the economy actually in positive territory. So it's not a good position for us to be in, and I would say that the government needs to act sooner rather than later. I can't see that happening, to be honest.
Nicki, just finally, China is back on the agenda in a big way. Tensions, while they certainly seem to be increasing between Australia and China, as we've seen over here over the weekend, but trade tensions between China and the US are somewhat easing, somewhat. How are you reading into that?
Yeah, look, it's hard to know how much is rhetoric and how much is real, but I take encouragement from the fact that over the weekend the Chinese themselves said that there's progress being made, and I think it's very smart the way they've locked these negotiations down into separate phases, so that we've now got the phase one where they can at least be seen to be making some progress, because the last thing that Trump wants is to actually lock himself into some of these tariff increases that are about to happen are going to place real pain on US consumers, and that's not going to play well into his election run-up next year. So the sooner they can get some agreement, the better. This was never going to be easy, though, so I think we should look at this with cautious optimism, and I think maybe we will get close. We are getting very close to that stage one, as I said, deal, but to get all the way through and what that means for future tariffs and the position of the US particularly, it's a little bit tricky to say. So lots more uncertainty, but at least a little pinch of good news at the moment, and we could sure use that.